Let's get into some more wild comments. This one, Stephen A., regarding your other team. Heading over to Pittsburgh as Rodgers is in training camp getting set for what he alluded to be maybe his final season in the NFL. Rodgers hopes to lead the Steelers to their first playoff win in 8 seasons, but one former Steelers quarterback not a fan of Aaron's arrival. During a radio interview with 103.7 The Buzz in May, the 4-time Super Bowl champ Terry Bradshaw had this to say when news came out of the Steelers' interest in signing Rodgers, saying, quote, "That's a joke. That is, just to me, it's a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for a year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere, chew on bark, and whisper to the gods out there." Aaron Rodgers responded for the first time over the weekend. Take a listen.
Terry, like a lot of people, doesn't know me. And so he's got an idea of what he thinks about me based on what I've done, the documentary, what I've said, Darkness Retreat, whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Okay, Mike T., I'd like to begin with you here. Do you believe Aaron gets unfairly criticized by the media?
No, not at all. And I'll bifurcate it onto on-field and off-field. On-field, guys, the sober, honest facts is this. Since 2022, in terms of QBR, he is 26 out of 29. The only quarterbacks that are worse than Aaron Rodgers are Ryan Tannehill, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, and Will Levis. So he has not played good football in 4 years. That's just the God-honest facts. Hopefully he'll play better. Maybe he catches lightning in the bottle. In terms of off the field, here's what I find to be somewhat ironic. If you're on Netflix, if you're in contemplation of being a vice presidential candidate and you live as transparently as you do, which is his way of how he wants to comport himself, it is going to come with more scrutiny. When you're on the Pat McAfee show as often as you are, it comes with more scrutiny. And look, he made those decisions, which are fine. So to me, absolutely his play is worthy of criticism. And when you put yourself out on the platforms he did, such as Netflix, it is going to come with some of the comments that Terry Bradshaw made. If you don't want that, comport yourself differently.
Stephen A., would you like to defend your guy?
Well, first order of business, Molly, is that I'm going to throw some shade on you. I mean, I've been gone for a month, and here you are going to Mike T before you came to me. Why am I waiting for Mike T? I mean, I was listening to him the last 2 weeks. I was listening to him the last 2 weeks, but I'm waiting for him.
He was hot on that, Stephen A. You know, when he dropped that QBR since 2022, you were like, well, damn, he's been bad. Come on.
Well, first of all, we all know that Aaron Rodgers, instead of being a bad man, he's been bad. But let's be clear, he's bad primarily according to his standards he established. We have to make up our minds. Mike T, CC, I'll defer to y'all, but understand this. Aaron Rodgers threw for nearly 4,000 yards, threw 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last year. It was a bad year. It was a bad year. The QBR wasn't impressive. We get all of that. How many quarterbacks we see doing that? The fact of the matter is you got a whole bunch of bad quarterbacks. If we're going to call him bad, we got a whole bunch of bad quarterbacks in the National Football League. Let's get that out the way first. Secondly, I think I'm going to be sensitive when I say this because I think it's important. If we just looked at Aaron Rodgers as a football player, we'd point out how he has to be better. I'm not about to. I've heard CC speak about him and others, and I know you're right, C. So I'm not going to challenge you on that. But I'm talking about the criticism that has been disseminated about Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying it's unfair because it's got a bit excessive because you have a lot of people out there who genuinely dislike him. Whether it's because of what you heard in Green Bay, whether it's him. I think the mistake he made was ever bringing Nathaniel Hackett. Well, I don't know what the hell he was thinking about that. He should have left us behind in Denver. You understand what I'm saying? Left him when you departed Green Bay, make sure you never saw him again. But that's just me, okay? And we obviously know when, the whole immunization thing, when he didn't get vaccinated, he was caught, trying to be a bit evasive about that. And I got on him about that. There's a lot of things that people point to. They talk about him in the locker room, living in his own world, not necessarily having the greatest relationship with some of his players, etc. He should be a better leader, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, damn, y'all. First of all, I like him. I like him. I love him as a player. I like him as a person. Okay, I don't know him that well, but we spoke on several occasions. I find him to be a pretty decent dude and very smart. And a lot of people look at him, and because he might have conspiracy theories and all of this other stuff, they throw that against the wall as an excuse to judge him. I'm not saying you two. I would never say that about you, Mike T, or you, CC. I'm not accusing y'all of that. But I'm saying y'all cover the sport, and y'all know that a lot of the noise that has come out about Aaron Rodgers has not been about football. I mean, my God, I had my sister. My sister was going the hell off. My sister Carmen was going off because when he got hurt the fourth play, his first year with the Jets, on the fourth play of the game, what's he doing interviews for? Why is he even talking to anybody? He needs to just sit down and shut up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, will you relax? The brother got hurt. He torn his Achilles. I mean, my God. I mean, it wasn't his fault. You know what I'm saying? What can we do about that? No sympathy whatsoever. But had that been Tom Brady, had that been Peyton Manning, had that been a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, oh, I'm so sad they got hurt. This is what we do to Aaron Rodgers. And I'm saying it needs to stop. Judge the man, and I'm not saying you two haven't done it, but judge the man on football. Could he be better? Absolutely. Back-to-back playoff losses at Lambeau Field to the San Francisco 49ers, all of this stuff. I got it. I understand it. Going to the Jets, playing the way that he did last year, I got it. But you don't look at him and say, he's finished, he's done. He can't have a better season. And you know what he's capable of because you've seen it in the past. I think a lot of people judge him because they don't like him, not because they're just looking at football.
I see what you did just now, Stephen A. You're just back today, but you're in midseason form because you're running out the clock on me. I see what you did just now. You ran out the clock on me, and that's okay. I'm going to make it short and sweet. You said let's judge Aaron Rodgers just based on the football, so I'm going to confine my commentary to just football. You intimated that Aaron Rodgers could play better. Why? In his age 42 season, why do you expect Aaron Rodgers to be better? There have only been 5 quarterbacks to start and win a playoff game. No, well, there have only been 5 quarterbacks to start and win a playoff game in their age 40 season or later. You talk about better coaching, better organization. He was with the Green Bay Packers, decided he didn't want that after back-to-back MVP seasons. He didn't want that when he had a situation in a winning game in Week 18 in 2022, and he lost it to a division rival that had nothing to play for. If you want to confine it to just the realm of football, why is every franchise better off without Aaron Rodgers? The Green Bay Packers in the 2 years after Aaron Rodgers were better off than Rodgers in his last season there. The New York Jets in the 1 year where Aaron Rodgers were hurt were better off win-loss record than with Aaron Rodgers playing all 17 games last year. And
you can't blame him for that. You need to stop that right now.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You can't blame Aaron Rodgers for what happened with the New York Jets last year.
Why can't I blame him? Why can't I blame him? This is his hand-picked situation.
I just said why.
He had everything that he wanted in New York the last 2 years, and he literally set the franchise on fire. How is he not culpable? How is he not to blame for that?
Hold on.
How are we absolving him from the situation we saw with the Jets?
Woody Johnson, Mr. UK ambassador before, comes back into the fold and decides to get rid of Robert Saleh, 5 games or so into the season and take his defensive coordinator and make him the interim coach. Discombobulates the defense, discombobulates the offense, discombobulates the leadership. Yeah, Mike T, don't try to hide now. You know it's true. That's what Woody Johnson. I'm not blaming Aaron Rodgers for last year more so than the owner. I'm not doing that.
Hold on, Stephen A. Whatever owner, fill in the blank, Woody Johnson or 31 others, if they were playing well, if the trajectory was where everyone thought it would be, they would not have made a change. Here's the other thing that I will give you a stunning statistic. In the history of pro football, there's been 2 players that have started a playoff game at 42 or older, 2 quarterbacks. Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, and Drew Brees, one and done. So if Aaron Rodgers takes Pittsburgh to the playoffs, he's doing something unbelievably historic, and we have to have that context.
Okay, I I respect the context. I respect the fact that the odds are stacked against him. But y'all talking about the brother like he trash. I'm saying the brother he can still do some things. And then I'm thinking about DK Metcalf. I would have liked him to have keep Pickens rather than him being in the Dallas Cowboy uniform. But that's neither here nor there. But you got DK Metcalf, okay? You got Jalen Warren, okay? You got Fry Moose. You re-signed TJ Watt.
We understand, Stephen A.
They can do some things.
Let's revisit this conversation like about 4 weeks in. I'll give him a.
You're gonna give him that long? You're gonna give him 4 weeks?
Let's give him.
I don't think we're gonna need that long. We're gonna find out week 1 against the Jets.
Yo, we are.
We're gonna find out week 1.
You got to give the guy a little time with a new team.
You gonna deal with them.
Okay.
You gonna deal with the Jets.
Let's go.
You gonna deal with the Jets.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
We're gonna find out.
We'll find out, Stephen A.